So I looked. Do you remember in like I don't know? It was like episode 2. We were talking about like the DSLR thing and the max record time. I looked it up, and it's not a legal thing, but what it is, there was a difference in classification between like a cinema camera, video camera, and a DSLR, and they had different taxes on importing them cross country or like between countries.
Okay.
And so there are. In order to save money on the taxes or the tariffs, it might be a tariff, but of the import, certain cameras that would be given the stop at 30 minutes of record time to classify as a DSLR in all of these like classifications so that they didn't have to pay a higher tax.
So the camera is probably capable of going more than
Yes.
30 minutes?
Yes.
Oh,
So if you have a
rough.
camera... If you have a camera that
Is there a way
stops
to
recording,
bypass that?
not that I know
Dang.
of. I mean, maybe some cameras, and I mean there's certain things like cameras can overheat, and so there's fans. But I mean, I have used these cameras. We're using Canon 90Ds. I have used them for long form recording for the last 6 years, and never had an issue where it was like I've overheated, and I've like stop, start, like run them for an hour and a half type stuff. Never had an overheating issue. So it could record longer, but
tariffs.
But yeah, they're just trying to save money.
Well,
Isn't that a bummer?
I mean, for you it is. Mine don't do that. And welcome on that note.
Yeah, let's hit the intro.
I don't like robots. They tell me don't panic. They tell me it's fine. I don't like the way it goes a dollar feels like 50 cents. I don't like robots. They work you while asleep.
Welcome to Can You Change the Music, the creative's safe space for encouragement and commiseration. I am one of your hosts. I'm Jeremiah. Joe is right here.
I'm Joe.
Hey.
My name is Joe.
What's up, Joe?
And I work in a button factory. I don't know.
What are you... I'm doing several different podcasts at this point, and I'm finding you try to create like what's our intro going to be, what's our structure for this podcast, and it's like really it just discovers itself.
Yeah, you just make it up.
Yeah, and I the idea that every single time we don't know what's coming out of your mouth.
I think it's nervous.
Is really
I'm just nervous.
I like it.
Yeah,
I think it's
I'm cool
endearing.
with it. We're just going to go with it. Because, I mean, it's not going to change. That's who I am.
I don't think it should. I think it's great. Yeah, like I'm doing this business podcast with my buddy Matt.
I'm stealing that idea, by the way.
Yeah?
I'm going to do that in my town.
You
It'll
should.
be a little different.
Yeah,
but
you should.
I steal all his ideas and all his time.
Our whole intro is I'm like, welcome to another business podcast. I'm your host, Jeremiah. I'm joined by my co-host, Matt. Say hi, Matt. And he's like, hi, Matt. That's our thing. That's our thing.
And then mine is,
It's
you
simple
never
but
know.
charming. Yeah.
I'm cool with it.
Today we wanted to talk about what has been a heated conversation over the last couple years, especially for different videographers and people in our industry. I've felt it a lot. I feel like you see it all the time on like social media things like LinkedIn or TikTok or Instagram. And it's about the world of AI. And is it
Artificial insemination. Intelligence. I said that on purpose.
I'm pretty sure that's an E. I could be wrong.
No. I used to AI cows on a cattle ranch.
Oh, so it's your thing.
Well, it's not my thing. I just know about it.
Yeah.
I know for a fact it's not an E.
Cool.
That's After Effects.
Yeah, you're right. So, yeah, it's worth saying right now is just a bit of context. My opinions, probably Joe's opinions, could change on this.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm an expert on AI, and we live in a rapidly evolving industry. So, I mean, a month, 2 months, 6 months down the road, like feelings might be different. But as of recording this, it's early 2026. I have been really thoughtful lately about, is AI in general or in the video industry, is it good? Is it bad? How is it good? I don't think there's really clear black and whites on it. And so I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to talk with you about it and just process. So go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, correct me if I'm wrong. I think the conversation has been going for about a year. But when Kalashi did that ad, that's when I started seeing creative people like freak out.
I don't think I saw that one. Maybe I did.
If you haven't seen it, you should. It's very good.
Yeah.
It is hyper realistic, I would say.
Yeah.
So like with most AI, especially like user generated AI with the promptings that are available, like not everybody has access to the highest quality AI for video creation.
Yeah.
They made this huge like budget dollar commercial. I think it took the guy like $2,000 to make, and it was insane. Like it was like fire and aliens and like but it was still only like 2 seconds or less segments in each clip. Like and so it still had its limitations, but it looked like fantastic. And I think that fear has started to grip people like, oh, everything that I'm doing could be totally replaced with AI.
Yeah.
And so I think that is valid. I think that there's concern that we can like lean into in that regard. But I think that the conversation is really important because to date, where I still think AI is lacking is obviously the human element.
Yeah.
And nothing connects. Like I haven't seen an AI video that can connect to the human spirit the way that authentic storytelling can. And so, but I leverage a lot of AI too for quicker workflows, for different things. And I think Ben was talking about that a little bit in the last episode. If you've not heard that episode, Ben was an awesome guest.
It was very good.
It was so good. But there are workflow things that are really powerful that AI has just changed the game for me as a creator.
Yeah.
And so my thing is, though I understand the concern, I've actually been leaning into what I can use AI for to benefit my business, not necessarily leaned into the fear of it replacing my business.
Yeah. Right off the bat, I want to acknowledge, like, when I've felt the fear of it too. The more I've paid attention to, you got to be on social media and posting your own content and then engaging with other content so you can build your network and build the algorithm and yada, 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 and all the stuff. Like, what you inevitably see is the people trying to chase innovation. And so there's a million people that will hear something like, I got this AI tool and it completely changed my workflow, and it's just the new version of selling like a big thing, right? And I have felt scared, right? Does this mean that all of the things, I'm already scared enough trying to build this business and leaving my comfortable, 9 to 5 to make it happen. And now I feel like technology is improving to the point where the narrative feels like what you do is obsolete. So I felt that. I also just got tired. Like, I was just tired of hearing all of the things and all of the things you're supposed to do. And so I felt all of that.
Yeah.
At the same time, I have felt like there has been a growing attitude among the purists, like the true creatives that like prioritize and care about the craft deeply, that AI as a concept is evil. And there's kind of this like absolutist, like I'm a purist, I don't touch it at all. And if that's you, that's fine. I get that, but there's kind of a law of diminishing returns for me as well that I think about. And so this is kind of what's gone into my process thinking about what is good or not. So like there are certain things. The first time I really actively started using AI was like generative fill in Photoshop, and that was a game changer.
100%.
Like, and it's creative work. It's contributing to, but the composition of the creative stuff. But it's mostly a logistical task you're asking it to do. Like Ben was talking about, it's like, hey, I need to remove this thing, and it would have taken a bunch of time and clone stamps and things to do kind of a rough job to remove it before. But now there's a lot more flexibility and creativity to move past the like logistical tasks. All right. I have other thoughts, but I don't want to talk forever. Do you,
Well, I think so. You're hitting on the things, like all of the things that we're all thinking about.
yeah.
I think for me, the most important thing in this conversation is what we don't understand is, let's take this picture, for example. You still had to press the button to make the AI do the thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every AI still has a prompt.
Mm-hmm.
It still has somebody behind that prompt controlling it,
Yeah.
i.e., or not i.e., that's, in other words,
Yeah.
a human is still doing the work.
Yeah.
AI is doing the logistic. And I think that for me has alleviated a lot. Because, and maybe it's like when I went to film school, one of the things that was really, really poured into us, and, we can argue film school good or bad, but one of the things that really was interesting is every professor that I had kind of doubled down on this idea that AI is not going to replace your job. People who know how to use AI will replace people who don't know how to use AI.
Yeah.
And so that's really important to note. So leveraging AI as a tool for your business becomes now really important to the conversation, because good, bad, or indifferent, AI is not going anywhere.
Yeah.
AI is part of the equation, and so we have to navigate that as business owners, as creative agencies. And so I've leaned into it maybe overzealously because I've kind of had that idea thumped into my brain that if I know how to use it, I won't get replaced by somebody who does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I do, it's a cliche statement or, trope or whatever, but I agree with it because, so I have clients who will sometimes, based on how we do our contract, they're responsible for the copy of the video we make.
Yeah.
Okay. I can tell when a client has sent me an AI script.
Yeah.
Sometimes they won't even take the prompt out.
Yeah.
It'll be like, sure, here's a classy blah, 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 blah. I'm like,
yeah.
Did you ChatGPT the script? And they're like, yeah, I thought it was pretty good. And I'm like, okay, this shows me you didn't try.
That's okay. Okay. That's actually been the thing for me is there are times that the attitude around the use of AI is we don't have to try anymore.
Right.
It's easy. It's done for us. Why are you still trying? And I think it's when that attitude is applied to it, it reveals, oh, you didn't give a crap about this to begin with.
Right.
And so it sours the whole thing.
It can. I think for a lot of people, it's not like this over melodramatic attitude of oh, I don't have to try anymore. Why would you? It's like, I am busy doing this, 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 and this. And this now became an on-ramp to a more efficient way.
Yeah.
To same thing back to the picture. It became an efficient way to accomplish a task.
Yeah.
They're failing to see the difference between an efficient way to accomplish a task and an impactful way to accomplish a goal.
Yeah.
And those become very different. Those are very different conversations, right? Like an efficient way to accomplish a task is what I leverage AI for.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Do you have...
It's your turn to cut people off.
I know. No, I'm the one doing it.
But I think the thing that is important is, as creative agencies, we have to determine what is impact and what is task.
Yeah.
And so,
yeah.
And so the human element is still one of the most important factors to impact.
Yeah.
And there's an argument to be made that AI agency can figure out voicing, verbiage, brand, all of those things, but it only does that with human elements guiding it.
Yeah.
And so if you don't know how to leverage that correctly, you're going to get a crap AI result because AI doesn't, at least not yet, doesn't just create magic.
Yeah.
And everything that I've seen AI, like ChatGPT, for example, everything good that I've seen come out of that platform has been still human inspired.
Mm-hmm.
And so the human element, I would argue that it will never go away. It
Yeah.
can't go away.
Yeah.
And like, so I've goofed around and tried a bunch of different video platforms for AI. And I know the correct promptings, right? Like I know,
Yeah.
like I would prompted it so specifically. Like I want a 35 mil, 2.8 f-stop, push in, like all of the things on this scene with this person doing this thing. And sometimes I'm like, wow, that was crazy that made that. And then other
Yeah.
times I'm like, are you freaking serious?
It's almost like using warp stabilizer.
Right.
Sometimes it's magic.
And so I think that at least as we're talking today in this conversation, the thing that we have to realize is that I think the reason why that statement is true of like AI is not going to replace your job. People who know how to leverage it will, because as AI gets better and better and better, and it's going to get better.
Yeah.
It's going to become more impossible to avoid. If you know how to use it correctly, you're positioning yourself to be an authority in a space that other people are afraid of.
Yeah. Well, and like at the end of the day, like this whole thing is about people that are trying to build their business and be self-employed. We're already doing everything.
Right.
Like if there's a chance that some of the things that don't have to be human creative, like 100% driven, if there's a chance that some of those can be helped, it's like the thing that buys us is time with our family.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like like
So, and that's a great perspective, by the way.
yeah. So like beneath this episode, you're gonna read an episode description that ChatGPT made. But I did not just say, hey, just give me a description, piece of cake. Like what I said is, okay, because I'm producing several different podcasts right now.
Right.
I'm trying to be wise and intentional, but also still creative and curate things that are unique. And so for our podcast, I said, hey, I want to build something that can consistently provide episode descriptions and title ideas and tag recommendations. What do you know, or what do you need to know so that you can make something consistently, repeatably in the same style that I have chosen it? And it was like, yeah, what's your target audience? And it asks me all these questions. And so then I took time and I was like, this is who I'm looking to talk to.
Yeah.
This is how I want it to sound. This is about how long I want it to be. I'm going to give you an episode transcript so you can work off of, and all of this stuff. And so I took a lot of time to intentionally curate it. And then I will send the episode description. And sometimes I don't like it. I read through it. I'm like, tighten it up. Try it again. Lead with this more.
Yeah.
And so it's not for me like, oh, piece of cake. I don't ever have to worry about episode descriptions. But it does mean that like, okay, I can spend more time doing this with you, talking about this, rather than trying to like wonder if grammar's perfect or if,
Right.
this sort of thing.
And what you didn't do is, hey, AI, give me questions to ask about.
Right.
AI. Like what you didn't do was, I need a script selling this product.
Right.
Make me a 30-second script.
Right.
Right. And that's the difference for me is, I have a friend of mine who, what he does is he's helps nonprofits, do fundraising campaigns, and build, these big capital campaigns for these huge projects that have deep and meaningful impacts in their, capacities.
Yeah.
And he has built AI agencies that he has trained to have their clients' branding, their clients' voice. He's given them example scripts of things that have worked in the past. So he's building an agent
Yeah.
with the human element that has shown results and worked. And so all that's done is sped up his workflow. And that's one thing I tell people, like, and what the example you gave was, you didn't start with AI.
Yeah.
You finished with it, right?
Yeah.
It became part of your workflow and process.
Yeah.
And there was still some upfront work that now has created a simpler process moving forward. And that's
Yeah.
a huge part of how AI is helpful, especially when we're talking a video agency. For better or for worse, a lot of what video agencies do that are successful is create ROI for their clients.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we've thought about this way, but most of how everything used to happen before social media was search engines, right?
Mhm.
So that's why search engine optimization became so important.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Google, which is the number one search engine in the world,
Yeah.
90% of everything that was ever looked up for a long period of time, 90% roughly, was searched through Google.
Yeah.
You know, restaurant near me.
Yep.
I'm looking for a hair salon. And they would Google. And that's why SEO became such a powerful tool for businesses to grow.
Yeah.
Well, Google's still like the highest search engine, but AI is starting to creep in there.
Mm-hmm.
And when AI is looking for something to give people an answer, it uses different things besides just what Google provides.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So AI is not going anywhere. AI
Yeah.
has taken business from Google so much so that Google leaned into AI. Right?
Yeah.
So if we don't lean into AI, and that's kind of my whole point, like that's what's going to kill you.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating. So I spend a lot of time researching this stuff because I think it's that important.
Yeah.
And that was some of the things that I have found. Like, did you know that AI doesn't scan Facebook and oftentimes right now isn't able to scan Instagram to gain knowledge and insight?
Isn't Meta AI a thing? Is that not a part of what it does?
That's own AI.
Yeah.
Like ChatGPT,
Yeah.
like can't do
Do-
certain things with social media.
Doesn't have access to.
So where
Yeah.
the AI pulls from right now? One of its biggest sources, YouTube and Reddit.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
What does that tell you? Like, in order to now be successful and show up in what Google did so well in search engine, and like it's still like 60 to 70% Google, and it's growing from like 30 to 40% AI generated search requests.
Yeah.
And I'm using this as an example, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You should be doing stuff on YouTube because that's one of the major pull froms for AI.
Yeah.
So,
Huh. Okay. Yeah.
so now you have a platform as a video agency to put somebody's business on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
which by the way helps out SEO
Yeah.
because Google owns YouTube.
Right.
And one of AI's main scrape platforms to gather information about a thing is found on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And so my point in saying all of this is that AI actually has given video production agencies a clear pitch to clients on why they should be using them for human video creation, because it helps their optimization to be found online. It increases their ROI in both platforms, right? Google SEO
Yeah.
and AI generation requests, because Google is one of the top ways that AI scrapes information from.
You're like blowing my mind right now. I'm literally going to like listen back to this segment of the podcast so that I can take notes.
And like, this is all research and data that I have intentionally tried to find.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the validity of said data is only what is being shown to me, right? Like
Sure,
I
that's
haven't
fair.
tested this theory yet. Like I'm
Yeah.
starting to discover these processes, but it's important to know that. It's important to look into that information, because one of the things that we should be doing as agency owners is our freaking research.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so when we understand that, it actually now, for a completely different purpose, AI becomes a pitch partner for me.
Well, and even if, let's say you got your sources wrong and that's not true, like even if that was the case, what I'm learning from that is you hear something, you have a first response, this is bad or this is whatever, and maybe, but there is a good chance there is a way you could be looking at this that could be helpful for you.
Right.
Yeah. Like what you're talking about is like, hey, there's been all of this fear and worry about, and at bare minimum, it feels like something that I have to fight against. Even like going to networking events and all the clients are like, how are you using AI? And it's like, guys, I'm also just creating. But like, there's a whole nother way to think about this where it's like, hey, there's a way that you could think like a business owner and think about, you don't have to become the evangelist for AI, but there's probably a way that you can educate yourself and make it be helpful for yourself and your clients.
Yeah. And I don't actually talk about AI a whole lot with my clients, unless it's things that make sense. On that note, I think we should probably start thinking about taking a pause.
Yeah.
And then come back to this concept because there's still a couple more things that I wanted to say in regards to that.
Same. Yeah. All right.
We'll be back.
So there was a time that I had to do a video. It was for the church that I worked at. I had to do, it was like a testimonial promo type of thing. And so I interviewed this husband and wife. And we got to the end of the interview, super great. They gave their packs back. I use these Tascam Lavs. Love them. They are awesome. Downside, you don't necessarily know if the battery is about to die.
Or if they're scratching on clothes.
Yeah. So his mic died like 5 minutes into the interview, and I didn't have any of his audio. And I panicked. I didn't know what to do, and so I didn't acknowledge it. I was like, yeah, it was super great, guys. Oh, shoot. Yeah, it was great. I'm super glad you guys could be here. I'll be working on the video over the next couple weeks, and you should be seeing it. They leave it. I'm like, oh, no, what am I going to do?
Was it loud enough that you could pull his audio off her mic?
So what I did is I was able to take her lav mic. She was a little closer than we are, so maybe 3-4 feet over. Cut out the spaces where he was talking to isolate to a different channel, and then I went to Adobe Podcast, which maybe has gotten better. At the time, it wasn't great, but it was a decent job at they say it's noise removal. It's an AI replacement. Like it models the person's voice, generates something new, and replaces it. And at the time, you could tell. But what I did was I used it alongside the audio that I had as kind of a dry wet for the two, so I could get the bits from her microphone over to him as some of the authentic room sounds of his voice. And then I used what Adobe Podcast spit out to me as the actual meat and thickness of his voice. So it actually sounded like the microphone was in proximity. And I put it in the edit alongside, her mic and with some music underneath. No one noticed. And so
and there's sound people at that church that would notice.
Yes. And
you did that for me once.
I did.
Yeah, early.
Yeah.
Before I even launched as a company, I'd done some work and I was like, this happened. And it was this audio scratching on clothes.
Yeah. I felt like a freaking genius.
Yeah.
And so I thought about that and I wanted to bring it up in this conversation because that is an instance in which AI saved my life.
Yeah. 100%.
And it wasn't incompetence per se. Everyone has a mistake, they screw up, right? And so it wouldn't have been my first choice. If I had his microphone, it's not like I'd be like, just toss that in AI, it's fine. But it saved me when I needed it, and it allowed the story to still be told.
And this was a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost wild. It's almost literally magical what AI can accomplish.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It blows my mind.
Yeah.
Um,
Have you seen some of the campaigns like Coca-Cola did?
Yeah.
An all AI,
yeah,
commercial.
it was like
and
cartoonish.
people hated it. At least in the circles that I saw, which is mostly the creatives.
Yeah. I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but not because I was afraid of it. I just thought, I was like, dang, Coke, you could have done better than that. But
Yeah. In all of this, I don't fully know what to do with this, but I do also want to acknowledge, like, the example I gave about, episode descriptions in the podcast. Like, there could be a copywriter listening to this episode, and it's like, yeah, that's easy for you to say, but like, I made my whole job this thing, and I have a passion for writing. And when I see someone say, that was just time wasted, it really makes me feel like the thing I put my life towards doesn't matter. Or I come from an audio engineering background, and so I took a lot of time learning that 500 and 700K on a man's voice are typically really muddy, and you should duck those down. And I put in the work, air quotes, like of learning and trying and failing, and it feels like the skill that I've acquired was fought for, and now there's going to be a whole bunch of people that were never audio people that are like, I just slapped the AI, voice treater on it, and everything is good.
yeah, that is tough. Like, let's acknowledge that.
Yeah, and so there is a tension in there that there's going to be, as a result, a lot of people that have poured a lot of time into learning the nuances of something, and now people that don't know jack about those things can make something that's at least comparable. And there's a grieving with that. And I don't want to say you're wrong for feeling that. Like, I felt that too.
No. And I think too, this brings up a good point about something that I want to clarify.
Yeah.
Like, I'm talking about video production as a whole, like a holistic unit, how you can leverage AI for that.
Yeah.
And it actually makes the barrier to entry easier for people who want to do it. The one thing that I would be remiss in acknowledging is, if I didn't acknowledge it, is that there are jobs that exist that can just, like, voiceover artists. Like, if we're not careful, AI does a pretty dang good job at doing voiceover. You know what I mean? Like, that is something that is a creative field that can be completely taken over. Graphic design is another one. Like, I was talking to a marketing agent who fired his graphic designers because AI was doing as good or better. And so in the totality of creative space, there could be room for some of that fear. I think video production as a whole is a little bit safer from it because you need video people understand composition, framing. Like, it would still need somebody who understands those compositional things, the right terms, the right language to prompt the AI correctly. Graphic design is a very different thing, right? Voiceover is a very different thing. Like, I know people who have been struggling in the year. So I should have been a little bit more sensitive at the beginning of this episode to that reality in the whole of creativity. That is where it is. Like, I understand that. I think in the video production space, which is where we're mainly talking about, it's a little bit of a different story.
And I agree, right? Like, obviously, like I said it too. And now, cautiously, I want to suggest the idea that maybe that is a good thing for some of us. Here's what I mean. And I have this half baked in my brain, so I hope it comes out of me properly.
You should have fully baked that thought. I'm just kidding.
I think it's the tension that we talk about all the time. You're a creative person, you got on this to be creative, and now, oh crap, I don't know how to run a business, and I have to learn how to run a business and be a business thinker. Where there's this, like, bucket of cold water that hits you in the face, and you're like, shoot, this shot is this beautiful composition and it does nothing to make this client money, so they don't give a crap about it. And I need to suck that up because I'm running a business and I got to make money. And so holding all of those things in tension, I do think there is also a reality that we're all here running businesses, and we do need to look at, like we talked about before, how do we leverage it to serve us well? If you have identified that the specific thing that you're really gifted in or really care about in the creative space is uniquely threatened by AI, don't like throw it out, but I don't think it's going to be super productive to make your whole thing hating on AI. I would say, okay, what are the things that are uniquely human about this that I can offer that continue to strengthen what I do? What are the things that are related to it that AI could never replace? Like, for instance, one of the reasons that I've been getting really, really into podcasting over the last couple months through this podcast, through the movie podcast, through the business podcast, is because I've realized AI could never replace you and I sitting down and talking.
Never.
Never
and if it could, I would be, I'd give up. I would be that impressed.
Right. And so it could only ever enhance the process of editing, clear some of the busy work, help me organize my thoughts. It could only enhance the process. It could never replace it. And so I have taken kind of a little bit of a business pivot. Also, I just enjoy podcasting a lot.
It's so fun.
It is really fun. And people seem to be really interested in it more. But also in all of this, I was like, people are stressed out about, AI taking shot composition away and all of this stuff. And I'm like, that's an argument that you can take either side on it and run crazy. But I know it's not going to replace this.
Right.
Does that make sense?
It's not going to replace authentic storytelling either.
Yeah.
And here's why. Because a business owner's lived experience is still impactful.
Yeah.
And will always be impactful.
Yeah.
So by saying a business owner, I'm saying your client's lived experience, there's no way to AI translate that.
Mm-hmm.
They need to tell that story.
Yeah.
And what we do is help people tell that story. That's our whole cliche. That's the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
But that story, their identity, AI can help leverage certain tools that make parts of that job easier, but AI can never be that lived experience.
Yeah.
Because it's artificial.
Yeah.
That's in the name.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And so even for graphic designers, which we just acknowledged, that is a tough blow, voiceover artists, I hope that there is still a world where a graphic artist can overcome that challenge.
Mm-hmm.
A graphic designer, a voiceover artist, can you be tenacious enough to figure that out? I say that as sensitively as I possibly can because I don't know the answer to that because that's not my field. But AI will never be more than artificial,
Mm-hmm.
right? Regardless of what movies are out there that tell you that,
Right.
Yeah. It's artificial. And so I think that's really important to keep perspective. Authenticity is still supreme. It is still that important. Your story is still impactful. What we're talking about hanging out will still happen. Mm-hmm. And we get to capture it in a video medium, right?
Yeah.
And furthermore, it goes beyond even just the AI conversation. Netflix movies and Netflix documentaries are crap right now.
Yeah.
I hate all of them.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a new thing that I've really enjoyed. And it's because Netflix is monitoring behavior
Mm-hmm.
and they're making things that speak to a certain thing that's going to make them X amount of money. And it's just crap content.
Yeah.
And it is no shock to me that independent documentary filmmakers, that industry is actively growing
Mm-hmm.
because people are actually craving authenticity.
Yeah.
because what they're being fed most of the time is not that.
Yeah.
And so even in an AI logo animation, even in an AI voiceover, those are really, really good things, like conceptually and all that, it's still not authentic human experience. And eventually, like, I wouldn't be surprised if, no matter how good AI itself gets, if at some point there is a reversion back to like content and things that people can tell have no AI attachment to them.
So, and that's already happening. So I've long had this theory about AI, and I think I'm already seeing it happen. But the way I see it, the increase of the quality of AI infiltrating into any kind of creative space like video inherently cheapens it. And by that, I just mean like it's now cheaper to do. So, which means that more of it's going to exist, and it means that the corporate people that are not necessarily interested in the emotional heart behind something, they're looking at bottom dollar, they're looking at, you know, data and results, and like that is the primary driver. It means that all of the AI jobs are gonna go that direction, which honestly, in the creative space, means that
You're going to stand out.
maybe we don't have to do as much garbage jobs.
Right.
Because they're just their value is in AI. That's what they're trying to do. It's the cheapest, fastest way to do it.
Sure.
And so I think there's going to become this divide of the boring, repeatable stuff that AI is doing, and then the value for genuine, unique creativity. Like, what we haven't even talked about how this affects the filmmaking world, because there's a lot of debate about AI in the filmmaking space. And full transparency, I'm out of my depth in that. So I don't want to come
same.
across as an expert. But I do think there is I heard this thing. I don't know where I heard it. Since we've been doing the movie podcast, all my algorithm is movie stuff lately. But
Fair.
I heard about this idea that was a point of negotiation in Hollywood, at least for a long time, might still be. But it was kind of like one for one. It was basically like, hey, I will do your cash grab movie if you fund my art project that I really care about. And it was like, I'm going to do this thing that's going to make a lot of money but doesn't fill my soul, in exchange for you giving me the funding to make the thing I actually care about, even if it's maybe not going to make as much money. And so I think there is going to be inherently, with the increase of the use of AI, there's going to be a higher value in, I went out to the forest with a camera and I shot everything myself, or we filmed this movie and we did it all practical. We didn't even use CGI. Like, in that stuff, because there's a story around the story. Does that make sense?
Well, I also think that's why documentaries are gaining so much traction. Like, you just look at the numbers. Like, as an industry, documentary filmmaking is exploding millions of dollars a year.
Yeah.
Because I do think that people are craving authenticity.
Yeah.
And these are statistics that I didn't come up with on my own. Like, I've heard other documentarians talk about this. So I think that, that's an important thing to note in that conversation. But I agree with it. Like, my wife and I watch more documentaries than we do movies right now.
Yeah.
Because it's just like so fascinating to hear the stories that come out of it. Or I like one of my favorite genres of movie to watch is like based on true stories.
Yeah.
And then what happens when I watch one of those movies is I like always look, did this actually happen? Is this real? What was creative and what was real? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
those they're fascinating because it's something that we all identify with.
Yeah.
And no matter how good AI gets, I don't know if anybody will be able to identify with it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's part of the attraction of what video production does in any market that we do. Like, if I can tell an authentic story for your brand.
Yeah.
Why can I tell an authentic story for your brand? Because I can capture it the way that it was meant to be told based on the relationship that we've built.
Yeah.
And so it's still their story.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I still have a lot of confidence that we can leverage AI, just again, particularly in the video production realm,
Yeah.
instead of be afraid of it. Though I do understand, like, it is another skill to learn.
Yeah.
It's another thing that you do have to manage. And in order to do it well, it does cost up front to learn it.
Yeah.
But I would argue that it's worth it right now. I don't think it's going away. I think even inside of the conversation of like people craving authentic content, authentic video production, authentic creativity,
Yeah.
like AI is still going to have a place inside of that
Yeah.
at varying capacities, right?
Yeah.
And so I don't think it's going anywhere. I think that video production people need to lean into it in ways that make sense for their business, in ways that make sense for their creativity, and leverage the heck out of it, because there are things that will make your business grow.
Yeah. I really just have one other thought. And it's kind of, I'm going to get a little bit philosophical, but it's another thing I've kind of thought with all this.
Yeah, that's a classic Jeremiah move.
It really is. Yeah. If you look at how society moves, especially in the technology age, right? There is always going to be a new thing where there's doomsday messaging around it. And there's going to be people on both extremes, people that refuse to accept it and they get, mowed over. I'm using air quotes. And there's the people that look at that idea and say, it's the future, you can't stop it. And they paint the picture that this is everything in the future. The world is going this way and you will get left behind if you don't adapt. As if like everything in your life is about to change, get over it. And I just feel like time and time again, you look back and it's like, stop being so dramatic.
That's fair.
Like
I think that's fair.
Take a deep breath, like that's my thoughts. Like, yes, I don't think it's productive or helpful to be a hater on AI and all of the things. Yes, I think it's fair to have the emotions about how it sucks and there's uncertainty with all of it. But also like all the people that are talking the biggest game, don't listen to don't drink the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Like it's probably going to partially be that.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be what it is.
And I will say this too. There is a world that exists where you don't leverage anything in AI and you could still have a successful production agency.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's okay because again, authenticity cannot be replicated by AI.
Yeah.
And so if you, and I do think, so you talked about the cheapenness of AI.
Yeah.
I personally do think that the way that AI is used by the general public, okay, is a cheapened version of content.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so the content that you create will inherently stand out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In the same way that, we talked in an earlier episode that like as a video production agency, if you have a microphone and a DSLR camera, you already have a higher production value than somebody with their cell phone. And you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So that same principle is going to apply. And like I had the client that like, I can tell if they send me an AI script.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, like,
yeah,
you didn't take the prompt out. This is going to reflect poorly in your content. And so I help navigate a process of creating better content. But your content is going to have greater ROI for the clients that you service, and you can leverage that. You can actually access that information. You can look at the ROI. You can look at the analytics. You can, you know what I mean? Like it's going to be there in front of you. And so again, outside of a workflow production standpoint, you can leverage what AI can do for the clients versus what you can do for your clients.
Yeah.
And so you're always going to have that if you look for it, if you can research it. And so I'm a huge proponent that AI can do a lot of things. It can't do everything. And there is going to be still a very, very real need for you in a creative agency to bring what you bring to the table the best. And that is your creativity.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I don't know. There's so many more things that we could say, that we could talk about. And that kind of brings me to kind of like the last point I want to bring in this is that, like, when you're starting a business, there is all kinds of factors that can lead to your success or demise as a business owner. You know, just one of those things is other creative agencies close to you going after the same client, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're going to hear that happen sometimes where people who are friends are looking for the same client and one lands it and one doesn't, but there's still more work to be had.
Yeah.
And that, I think that conversation is true. Like that Kalashi commercial that I referenced at the top of the episode, look at it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But there's still other clients who aren't Kalashi
Mm-hmm.
That need video work,
Yeah.
that don't know how to leverage AI,
Yeah.
that don't have any clue. They're overwhelmed, they're stressed, and you solve pain points for them.
Yeah.
And you might solve pain points, Jeremiah, for a client better than I can solve their pain points.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would actually champion you to get that client over me because you're going to add the value to them and not me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
If somebody needs a really, 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 really good story, and I know that you can provide that for them, you know, you should get that client.
Yeah.
And I'm going to root for you to get that client. And if somebody wants to go the cheap and easy route of AI, like, and that's just what their budget can provide for, that's what they need, you then use that if that's going to solve your pain point.
Yeah.
There are clients, though, that I am uniquely fitted to add value to them and provide the services that they need at a price they can afford, at the level of creativity that they need.
Yep.
It's going to solve their problems, and then we're going to build relationship. And that's the other thing that AI can never do. And it's a conversation that we're going to get into in an episode or two of building relationships.
Yeah.
And that is something that is kind of an X factor for me in my business growth is how I've built relationships. And again, AI in a healthy functioning society will never be able to there's not a gap that AI can fill there.
Yeah.
That is a human to human connection.
Yeah.
So,
like we said, this conversation's not exhaustive. I feel like we've exhausted it, but
it's the most I've ever talked about it, actually.
Same. But if there's things that you feel like we missed, put it in the comments or send us an email, because we want this to be like the start of a dialogue. But neither one of us considers ourselves to be, experts in any of this stuff. But the value in here is talking.
I'm not an expert in anything, and I will acknowledge that right now.
If you have any questions or comments or thoughts, put them in the video, or you could send it to canyouchangethemusic@gmail.com. We're looking to do some like viewer mail type, like reading crazy stories and stuff. So if you have any of those,
about that.
Send them to us, and we'll make it happen. But other than that,
I also want to say this. I've seen in some social media posts that we've posted, like some people who want to be a guest on the podcast already, which is super exciting and super fun.
Yeah.
Reach out.
Yeah.
We want to have you guys on here talking. Right now, it's kind of like a proximity thing that we've gotten people who are closer, locals, because it's an easier setup, higher, all the things. But there could be a world here in the future where we bring somebody on through a digital platform to be a guest.
Yeah.
But I would also acknowledge that if we don't get to that request, try again, because we want to talk to as many of you guys and interact with as many of you guys as we possibly can.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you next time.
Deuces.